It's Hypercritical, the comedian Matthew Murray podcast. I'm back and I'm in a bad mood, which sometimes makes for the best podcasting. I've asked Melissa to come join us again. We had overwhelming response to your first appearance.
Yeah, it was great. I'm so glad you let me out of the kitchen to come back here tonight.
We actually are recording in the kitchen.
That's true. You haven't let me out. You're just allowed me to sit down at the table.
You know, ever since women got the vote, it's just all that. I want this.
You know, that's a big can of worms to open, and I don't know if that's how we want to start this, but...
That's actually a good way to open... I don't want to open that can of worms, but in general, cans of worms is what I want to get into.
Fishing.
We talked a lot last time about coming back from Vegas and Saskatoon, and I don't think we were fair to Saskatoon and to the people of Saskatoon.
I think I was more fair than you were. I'm born and raised here, so I was kind of trying to be supportive here and trying to be like, hey, don't count us out yet,
I don't recall that at all.
Oh, well then you should re-listen, because,
in general, I think more and more of the podcasts I'm enjoying are people that really just speak their mind. Like I've been having some challenges because I'm a stand-up comedian.
Right.
And I also have a delightful day job. And everything I do in my social media has to be a reflection of, hey, hire me for your Christmas party, or, oh, hey, let's take a business meeting. And when can you just really speak your mind honestly? And
see, I'm not the right person to ask, because I speak my mind honestly almost all the time.
But you don't make any money. Like, what's the backlash to you speaking your mind? Someone's like, oh, I'm not going to go for coffee with her again.
See, here's the thing, Matthew.
See, I speak my mind and you're like, hi, we don't want you to work here anymore.
Okay, well, here's the thing. I mean, they're speaking your mind tactfully.
Yeah, I don't want to be tactful.
Well, then that's on you. But when it comes down to it, you're going to piss somebody off.
Yeah,
no
that's
matter
fair.
what you
That's
say
fair.
or do.
Yes.
Someone's not going to like you or like what you've said or like what you've done.
Now, someone not liking me would be a first.
And you know what? In today's day and age as well, people are so sensitive.
Yes.
You can't joke around anymore.
That's a real can of worms you want to open
It
with
really
that.
is.
Okay.
Like, it's
but
just horrible.
That's exactly my point.
Yeah.
Is I shouldn't be holding back. So I'm going to get some sort of disclaimer. See, what's tricky, though, is what am I going to put a disclaimer on? Like, the thoughts and opinions expressed are not mine. They're mine.
They're
They're my opinions.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean I'm any less employed. I don't have any opinions that I think would make me unemployable or would make someone not work with me as a comedian. But that doesn't mean people would agree with me.
Right.
Right? So it's not like, oh, those Jews. Like, it's not like that. I don't have those real horrible thoughts that, this is not a preface to hey, now this podcast is going to become horrific and racial and controversial. It's not that.
What I do is I just hate everyone and everything the same, and then it's fine.
Yeah, and really it's the hate.
Yeah.
That I want to get out.
Oh, the hatred's there.
It's I live. That's one thing I wanted to bring up as a topic, having you on the podcast.
Yep.
Living with a comedian.
Oh gosh.
So you meet a lot of people, and they're just like, my God, are you lucky to be married to Matthew Murray?
Right.
It must be amazing to be married to a comedian.
Yes, I hear that all the
Every day
time.
must be hilarious.
Right.
You tour, you travel.
Right.
There's free trips. The money for people envy you because you have me.
Right.
And I'm horrible.
You're not horrible.
I'm horrible to live with. I'm not a horrible person, but I would say I have my own set of challenges like anything else.
You're an entertainer. And
I don't like that. I don't like that.
I know you don't like it, but this is the reality, and this is what it comes down to.
I don't like that.
When people are like, oh my gosh, you're so lucky. He must make you laugh every single day. The answer is no. No, you do not make me laugh every single day.
Ever.
No, here's the thing. And what people don't understand, and I think this is what happens a lot with any kind of celebrities, movie stars, everyone's like, oh my God, you're married to this movie star, blah, blah, blah. Here's the thing, okay? And that's our ice maker, if you hear that. Here's the thing.
Which ice maker?
The first one.
You have several
I know.
ice
We'll get
makers.
into that later. But here's the thing. What people forget, and I do consider you a celebrity. I mean, you may not be out like on the silver screen, but we do get stopped when we go out. People recognize you. I do consider that a celebrity status. It may not be a worldwide at this point, but it still is. And what people don't realize is movie stars, musicians, comedians, whatever, you're a person.
Well, musicians aren't people.
Yeah, but you know what I mean?
Musicians aren't people. Musicians hide behind
What I'm
instruments.
trying to say is what you see on stage or on the silver screen is essentially an act. That doesn't
product.
mean that is what that person is like. And people see what they're like on stage and they're like, oh my God, they're amazing, blah, blah, blah. I'm not saying you're not amazing, but when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, you're a person, just like everybody else. So is it great living with you? There's pros and cons, right? I mean, yeah, there's a lot of pros, but there's a lot of cons being with someone who's on stage all the time.
So there's a lot to that. This is great. I got to touch on a lot of these points.
Yeah, go for it.
So the first part is you're an entertainer.
Right.
And that's what I don't... So entertainers, like actors, hey, here's your script, go deliver your lines. Hey, musician, play Wonderwall, whatever.
Right.
That's
Yep.
comedians, true, real comedians. Now, there's a dozen different ways to be. I'm not saying any one way. Like some guys are on all the time. Some guys have an act. Some guys are an amplified version of themselves on
Right.
stage. But in general, stand-up comedy, the really good stand-up comedy, is about being yourself on stage. And the really good comedians are really, we're not ourselves all day during the day. We're ourselves on stage. And not being a comedian, it's hard to understand that. So now what you get, what you've seen, and what I'm experiencing in Saskatchewan, to tie this all back, is Saskatchewan wants an entertainer.
Right.
So, hey, come to our company, do your little song and dance. Here is your money. Please don't offend anybody.
Right.
Here, have a nice day.
Right.
And so, because you're a financial drain, and my daughter is a financial drain, and my debt is a financial drain,
And you're a financial
and I'm a
drain.
financial drain. That's me joking. But seriously, money. Like, hey, come do the show. You got to work within these parameters. It pays this money. I've been doing that. And I like it. But it's a product.
Yeah, exactly.
The comedian Matthew Murray on stage in Saskatchewan, to a degree, is a product. Now,
But you've struggled with this from day one.
yes, and thus the podcast. So when I'm old, when I came up in comedy, it was, I had agents, I had managers telling me, don't be weird on stage. Do something that we can sell.
Right.
Because they didn't want to help me get to Hollywood.
No, they just
didn't
wanted money.
They just wanted to sell alcohol
Right.
at bars.
Right.
So it doesn't matter whether it's a karaoke machine or a comedy or whatever. Go and do the thing so that people will come and drink the alcohol and go home and try and get laid.
Right.
So in the last 10, 15 years with social media and stuff, comedians have figured it out. They figured it out that what you need to do, Dane Cook was really the first guy that nailed it, was figure out your voice.
Right.
Figure out what you want to be, who you are on stage,
Right.
what you want to say, and then find your audience. So Dane Cook came up with a very specific product, figured out his audience was universities and colleges, got big there and
Yeah.
went on. Louis, all the like, I'd say Seinfeld was the last really big act.
Right.
Because if you watch comedians in cars doing coffee or whatever,
Yeah.
him hanging out with his buddies drinking coffee, that's really him.
Yes, it is.
That's him as a person. But that's not him on stage.
No, he's
Him
very different.
Him as a person is abrasive and arrogant and
Yeah, he's a jerk.
highly intelligent
He is, but he's a
And-
complete jerk.
and a jerk.
Yeah.
So now what comedians have figured out to do, like comedians, like the younger guys that I work with, they're being themselves. They're finding their voice first rather than be funny first. And I got caught in that trend. And it's a lot of guys, people born like between 77 and 82.
Yeah.
We're not quite baby boomers. We're not quite millennials. We're this horrible little blip.
Yeah.
Where we're a little too old to be senior, to be this, but a little too young to be retired. And so I'm in this spot where now I've got a great product on stage. But do I go off on stage and rant? And like, I've had organic moments on stage that feel real and feel great. And now as I'm putting this podcast together, I don't want to write out, oh, here's a half a dozen funny things and new bits that I'm working on, and just treat this as kind of like an open mic with no audience.
See, that's the thing.
I just want to say all those things that I should be saying on stage, regardless of if they're funny or not.
Well, yeah, just, that's the way, like, that's how I am. I'm not a comedian by any stretch of the imagination, but I am a funny person. I say things that are funny, I do things that are funny, and that's just occasionally, that's just what happens. I'm funny, right? But I could never go on stage. I could never write an act. I could never, oh, what's this bit? Like, that's not what I do or who I am, right? So the fact that you can do that, you've already surpassed a lot of people, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, I want, the person that I want to be on stage, like that's like a little outlet for me. I want to be me all the time.
Oh yeah, I know you do.
And you don't like that. You like, in general, he's a hard guy to be around. The kind of guy that goofs with the waitress.
Because we live in Saskatchewan.
Yes.
And in Saskatchewan, people look at you like you have leprosy. They do. They're like, excuse me? I don't know what you're saying to me. Just here's your coffee, sir. Goodbye.
And what happens when we're in Vegas?
In Vegas, it's very different.
I'm like one of, like, it's a collective.
But Vegas is the entertainment capital of the world.
Well, it's not the, but I mean, like, if I were in even a larger city, but even if I was in Calgary or if I was in Vancouver, I would have a group of comedians, like my people, and I don't have people here.
No,
right?
Nobody has people here. It's Saskatoon.
Yeah. Well, yeah, okay. So the podcast, what I'd rather do is, rather than, hey, the podcast has got to be funny today, or I got to get some sponsors for it, or I just really want to say the things I want to say about the topics of the day, about life in general.
So why don't you?
I am. And that's you're here.
That's
right?
Me, yeah.
Because it's not like not many people are going to agree with the things I say.
And that's okay.
But
people
I'm
don't
right.
have to.
And I'm right.
Exactly. And you know what? You show me a comedian that every single person who sees their show agrees with everything they've said or done.
Well, no, what happens is people find the comedians that they, like, people love, Louis my guy. That guy speaks my language.
Exactly.
So, like, Bill
But
Burr,
then when Louis does something...
But then they don't go to the other guys.
Yeah, but then when Louis does something that he shouldn't, and people are like, oh,
she
but you know what?
I don't want to...
But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When he does something they shouldn't, the people are already loving him. So well, it doesn't matter. It's Louis. I'm sure it was a misunderstanding, right?
Oh, I see. So I just need to get people to love me enough that I can do whatever I want.
But not everyone's going to love you.
No.
There's comedians out there.
That was the message that hit me early in my comedy career. That's
right.
Make as many people, and the measure of success was number of laughs, number of minutes you could cover, and how many gigs you could get.
Some people are going to think you're hilarious. Some people are going to think you're horrible. Some people are going to think, oh, you swear too much. Oh, you don't swear enough. You cannot make every single person happy.
No.
So I've always said, and I've told you this.
I can't even make you happy.
No. I've told you this because before we had our child, I went with you to a lot of comedy shows. And I told you, before you got on the stage, I'm like, This is your show. It didn't matter if you were the headliner or if you were the opener act or the MC. This is your
I was
stage.
already a headliner before.
I know you were
met
a
me.
headliner,
Okay.
but you've done all positions. Okay, you have. You tend to get full of yourself, and you need to realize.
I'm amazing.
Yeah, I'm not saying you're not.
I don't think I'm full enough of myself. I think I'm selling myself short.
You are, but here's the thing, and I told you, it doesn't matter how much time you have. It doesn't matter if you're the headliner or if you're opening for Jerry D or whatever you're doing. When you hit that stage, that is your stage.
Right.
You are the headliner no matter what.
But that's the stage. What I'm saying is, I would like to say what I want, when I want.
I don't see the problem.
I don't either.
If that's what you want to do, then do it.
So I've always had this thought. So getting back to shitting on Saskatchewan last time. This, I think what it is, and this has sort of been my philosophy on humanity, which is a horrible thing. I think about 3/5, I mean, not an exact ratio, because I mean, I'm sure around the world it's different, country by country it's different, but I would say about 3/5 of the world is just dumb. Like right now, while I'm talking to you, I'm looking at the microphone. I'm looking at your face to see your reaction to what I'm saying. I'm thinking about the next thing I want to say. Like there's a monologue in my head. Like the voice I'm hearing in my ear, I have another voice in my head called thinking.
Right.
And, how long have we been going on the podcast? It is, I think 3/5 of people just don't have that. They're just like, do, I really like this song. When I get home, I'm gonna watch Love is Bliss, or what I'm gonna, hey, I like chicken wings, my favorite flavor.
It could be.
Like, and I'm watching these. I've experienced so many things personally and professionally where I'm like, it's not like I'm thinking of something and you're thinking of something and we're at cross purposes. It's I'm thinking and they're not.
And why is that a problem for you?
It's not a problem. But the sooner you the 3/5 are dumb. There's 1/5 or even less than 1/5, like this 1% that have figured out how to make money, take advantage, and rule the dumb. And then there's this chunk in the middle, like you and me, that we're not dumb enough to just be happy. Because ignorance is bliss.
Yeah,
just to be like, go Riders, I'm going to watch the football, and then to watch the football. Like, they're so happy.
They're very happy.
And they have every right to that happiness.
Absolutely.
They go, they put in 8 hours of work, and they come home to their stupid family and watch a mindless sitcom, and it's bliss.
Yep.
And then they go, I'm going to vote for this guy, or I'm going to vote for that guy. And me, I got to stand off to the side and be like, do you not see how we're all getting screwed here?
Yeah, but you don't have to do that. You choose to do that.
Well, because it feels like I'm not a villain. I've always I watch shows like Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul and all these guys who become grifters and thieves and like, there's something really morally wrong with you if you want to get into politics. If you want to say, I want to make decisions for everyone.
Some people would say that about comedians.
What do you mean?
What I mean is,
comedians are on stage because we can't handle the world the way we see it.
Yeah, I know.
And we don't want to become mass murderers.
Yeah, but there's comedians that go on stage and they use that platform to be racist or to, that's...
yeah, but they're not funny.
It doesn't matter if they're funny or not. That's not the point.
But the point is, I don't want to take advantage. I don't want to manipulate. I don't want to go being mayor looks like a pretty sweet job and I could probably convince enough.
You've said that. You've talked about being mayor numerous times.
Yeah, and then but I never do it because I don't want to.
No, you never do it because I tell you you can't do it.
Yeah, that's great. I don't do a lot of things because you tell me I can't do it.
Right.
All I'm saying is most people are dumb.
Okay.
And I'm in this middle ground where I'm not smart enough or willing to compromise my morals to a degree that I can take advantage of dumb people.
Right.
Right? But I'm also unhappy as a result. I would be happier if I were wealthy and selfish and horrible. Like if you are really just willing to sell your soul, if you're willing to be that guy that goes on and goes, oh, cigarettes aren't addictive, and like go sell smokes, or if you work for, like, if you like run a vape shop and you're like, hey man, like this stuff's totally not hard. Like there's people doing things that they know are a negative outcome on the planet.
And I disagree with you. I don't think they know it. I think they're so ignorant that they actually think the stuff they're selling is fine.
Okay. But I mean, in general, there's like, it's like McDonald's. We know McDonald's isn't good for us.
Yeah, but here's the
thing. But we go and we eat it and we make a conscious decision.
Yeah, but the people at McDonald's are not forcing you to buy the food.
Right.
Just like the meth dealer is not forcing you to buy the meth.
No.
This is your choice.
We're nothing against meth dealers. If you're a meth dealer,
what I'm saying
I could use some meth.
I don't have a problem with any criminals whatsoever. That I don't.
That's great.
I'm sorry, I don't.
That's the last podcast.
With criminals that are doing things where they're not controlling the narrative. Like, I have a problem with criminals that are going out and robbing people because that's causing harm.
Yeah, it's violating property rights.
Right? But if I'm a drug dealer...
Which you're not.
I'm not. But I have no problem with drug dealers. They're not out there being like, hey, you got to buy this from me. People go to them because they're addicted or because that's their choice.
Okay.
These drug dealers are just making a buck.
If you run a bar and you're selling booze,
exactly.
Yeah, fine. But I didn't come to your house and say, "Hey, drink this beer." I'm with you. So I believe drugs should not be illegal. I don't think. I think a drug dealer by trade should not be a criminal. So
I agree. It's the same with prostitution.
Which you're also not.
I'm not. But I don't have an issue with
from
it.
Once in a while.
What I'm saying is, if you are of age,
what I'm hearing is that I can go be a criminal and you be cool with it.
If you want to be, that's fine.
I can't because I have a daughter.
Well, there you go. But what I'm saying is, like, if you're
not satisfied with me and you want to
if you're of consenting age, and you want to go do these things, and it's not directly harming someone else, who cares?
I think if you're at home and you want to do heroin,
yeah,
go ahead. But it's when you do heroin and the kid at home sees you do
that's
it,
the problem.
or doesn't get dinner.
Harm.
That's causing harm.
That's causing harm. If you do something and it's not causing harm to anyone but yourself, and that's your choice,
yeah,
fine.
Because like
I don't have an issue with
McDonald's is still harming yourself.
It is. It's still harming yourself. Now, with that said, also if you're in that position and you want help, I would be the first one to step in to give that help or to make sure you find where to get that help.
Yes.
But it's your choice. You're an adult. Everyone has choices. Every choice has some sort of consequence, sometimes good, sometimes bad.
Okay. So thus, we're already talking about things I wouldn't usually talk about on stage or on my podcast or in my day job.
These are your personal opinions.
This is great.
And you're allowed to have a personal opinion.
But
especially today.
But I do... What happens today?
What I mean is today's day and age.
Oh.
Like, I'm going to... I don't know if I want to open that can of worms.
Yeah, see, again, you're hesitant. But yeah, I hear what you're saying.
But you know what I mean?
The thing is...
Like, I just don't understand
where I went back...
I don't care.
But what I'm back to is... Okay, yeah, maybe drug dealer is a bad example, but I will say there are people like getting into politics, getting into the military, and then sending people to go die in another country.
It's the same with police officers.
That's horrible.
Police officers, you either get in to be a police officer for one of two reasons. You either really want to help people, or you're a bully. That's the only reason to be a police officer. And if you're one of those people who really want to help people, that's in the beginning. Once you've been a police officer for a long period of time and you start seeing the corruption and you start seeing all this stuff, you're going to start losing that wanting to help people, and your morals and stuff will change.
It's tough. My heart goes out to a profession like that, because the fight, like the crime is the symptom.
Yeah.
right? It's, hey, this person we keep arresting this person because they're drunk in public,
Right?
Or we keep arresting this person because they've got a psychological disorder and they're saying, yeah, but they're not doing that because, ooh, I love crime.
No.
They're doing it because they don't have another
There's
option.
an issue,
And,
right?
and so you are just the cleanup
They're
crew.
not getting the help
police is the cleanup
that
crew.
they need, right? Like, I don't think people would go around robbing people if they had money.
Yeah.
Like, it's not something like, oh, I'm a millionaire, I'm going to go and do carjacking today. It doesn't happen. Because they don't need to do it.
Yeah, it's just like, and that's what I'm saying is, like, as a smart person, I'm like, hey, we're going to introduce a carbon tax so that people don't use carbon.
Yeah.
No, what you want
They
is
just
you
want
want
money.
You want more of my money to
More
do
money.
other things.
It's just a way to figure out more money. It's
But
ridiculous.
what do I do? Do I become a political activist? Do I get on my soapbox and my podcast? Or do I just shut up and take it?
Yeah.
Right? So, and another thing, when did chickens become rare or an endangered species?
I've never heard of this.
Okay, I've seen multiple headlines that we have maybe 5 to 8 days supply of chickens left.
Really?
No, but
Oh.
why is a dozen chicken wings $20 now?
Oh, because they can.
Why this? If there's something I don't get,
It's because they can.
this is horrible.
Restaurants, now don't get me wrong, I understand that prices of food and stuff have gone up. But it's because they can.
Yeah, the supply hasn't changed.
No.
Are we making less chickens?
No.
Are we making less cooking oil?
Nope.
Is it somehow harder now to place chicken wings in oil?
No, they have now
What
realized.
happened here?
They have now realized that the majority of people eat out for all their meals. Very few people cook at home anymore.
Yeah.
And because they know you're going to that restaurant, they know you're going to pay whatever price they put on the menu because people do it. And for the people who don't do it, there's enough people that will pay that price that the restaurants aren't going to lower it.
All I'm saying is I don't ever want to become one of these guys. Oh, back in my day, movies was a quarter and da 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 da. Like, you look at like these guys who would go like, oh, we go see a movie reel and have crappy pop. Yeah, you had horrible popcorn. You had an uncomfortable theater, and you watched a black and white movie.
But it was fun. It was the night out.
But the cost was in proportion to the service.
Right.
Now you go to a movie. It's a beautiful 4K screen. The chairs are comfy loungers. The food is good, and therefore it's a premium.
Yep.
But a chicken wing
Yep.
is remarkably similar.
Yeah.
There's not been an evolution in the technology of a chicken wing in the last 5 years. Like the 2020, the chicken wing of 2024, pretty much the chicken wing of 2014.
It's the experience because you can go buy a dozen chicken wings at Sobeys for $10 and get a dozen chicken wings at a restaurant for $24.
So I need to stop complaining about restaurants and start complaining that you aren't making me chicken wings.
I am a vegetarian.
Right. So thus the chicken wing impacts me more.
Right.
I see.
And that's your choice.
I see. So if
there's a price increase on tofu, I will let you know.
Okay. Has there been?
Nope.
No. Because no one wants it.
Everybody wants it. And the ones that don't
Does
want
everybody
it,
want tofu?
people should want tofu. They don't realize how versatile tofu is. It's a good product.
It's just, I don't know. Another thing that I see about the world of dumb. There was a headline yesterday or the day before, earlier this week.
Sure.
Warner Brothers.
Okay. I'm familiar.
Time Warner.
Yep.
Carrot, Rabbit.
Sure.
$9 billion loss.
Oh.
Because the
Movies.
the TV products, no one's buying TV advertising
Well, it's all
anymore.
streaming now.
Yeah.
Nobody wants commercials.
The thing that gets me on this, it's a $9 billion loss.
Okay. Which
means you still have money left after losing $9 billion. Who can lose $9 billion and still be like, oh, okay, we're going to have to do something different this quarter?
A lot of people.
That's an insane amount of money.
Yeah, but insane amount of money, it's the same as like looking at professional athletes.
Well, they deserve every penny.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, go play hockey and make this much money.
Oh, so what I mean is this: how does $9 billion exist? Let alone, how does $9 billion? So when they say they lost it, they didn't like lose $9 billion to a bank or something. They projected they were going to make X.
Yeah,
and they didn't. And then their stock value drops.
Right.
So on paper, they're worth X, and then tomorrow everyone thinks you're worth could you imagine if you woke up and you read the paper and it said, today we've decided Melissa Murray is worth less.
Right.
We thought she was worth $1 million.
But again, that's a man-made problem. Money is man-made. We've made it. It's out of paper.
Yeah, but
this is a currency that we're like, this will tell us who can afford things and who can't.
Yeah, but we made it so we could stop killing each other.
Yeah,
That's
but
the
that
idea.
hasn't happened. We're still killing each other.
Yes, because we need the pieces of paper.
Ugh.
But if we were more distracted, and the kicker to Warner Brothers is you have Batman. Is DC like not a Warner Brothers product?
You know what?
How can you lose money when you own the intellectual property of Batman?
Have you been to a movie lately?
When was the last movie we went to?
I can't remember.
We did recently. We went to
something.
It was the one with Violet. Inside Out 2.
Yes. And the movie theaters are not packed anymore. They used to be.
Right.
You used to go to a matinee on a Sunday and there'd be no seats available.
All I'm saying is you own Batman.
Yeah, but it's a society that's changing.
Nobody wants Batman anymore?
Not really.
I want Batman.
Yeah, well, you're the
Make me a new Yeah, but we're down $9 billion. Whip up a Batman movie. And
That's all they've been doing, though, is like sequels and part 2s and 3s.
We just said, we went to Inside Out 2.
Yes.
What do you want? A truly unique...
Did you know there's like Little Mermaid 5 now? Like, what the heck is that about?
I knew there was a 2. There was no unanswered questions at the end of Little Mermaid.
No, but they do it because they're like, oh, maybe this will get more money. And they just make some crappy sequel to the first one to try. It's just a cash grab is all it is.
So that's what I need to do, is just take my old comedy act and make a sequel to it.
There you go.
This is Matthew Murray 2.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Remember that bit I did?
But here's the thing. With comedy, this is the funny part. Because I know this has happened before, where you've been like, oh my God, I'm doing this show for the same company and I haven't changed my act in a year. They're going to be hearing the same crap.
They want to hear it.
That's the thing.
They do.
I have a few comedians that I love watching. And I could watch their same act over and over and over and be happy.
Okay, and what's interesting is I can watch the same movie. Like, hey, let's watch a movie tonight.
Yeah, you can watch the same thing. Lord of the Rings. Every night
Not
you
Lord
be
of the
happy.
Pulp Fiction.
All right.
I want to see stuff that's good. The Matrix, I could watch over and over.
That's the same thing. I watch Jaws every year.
Yeah, but you watch reality. Like, you want to see the new season of Reality Barf.
Oh, that's only because it makes me feel better about my life. That's why. That's different. That's a different type of entertainment.
Maybe that's why I'm doing the podcast, is just to feel better about myself.
Yeah, maybe.
I do feel better about... I mean...
There you go.
I don't know if I feel as good about us, but I feel
that's
good
a married couple. It's going to be, 13 years this year?
Wow.
Like, come on.
I don't know how you've put up with me this long.
I don't know either. I'm surprised.
What's funny is a lot of people do a lot of... I did joke... People do say to you, it must be cool to be married to a comedian.
They do.
And it's not. And, well, okay, maybe it is. Maybe other comedians.
There's perks. But...
Perks.
It's a lot.
I work for a company who gets a husband who gets a free ham from work every year.
It's a lot.
I'm a lot. Even if I wasn't a comedian, I'd be a lot.
It's a lot.
At least I'm a lot.
But to be fair, I've met, because of you, I've met numerous comedians.
And they're horrible.
All of you are a lot. You all...
The good ones are a lot.
You're all broken in some regard. You all have your issues. You all are divas. Like, it's just...
And you all want to be us. We're the most sought. You don't, but most people want to be us.
But to be fair, in the beginning, when I first met you and we were dating...
You liked me then.
I thought, wow, a comedian, this is exciting. And it was. It's the same with meeting your movie star, your favorite movie star. It's exciting.
How long did the excitement last?
I don't know, a year?
Okay, fair enough.
But then as the curtain is pulled away.
Yes.
As you see behind the scenes, behind the stage, what actually happens when you go on the road, when you're with other comedians, all of it, you start to realize, or I did, it's like, you're a normal person. So why did I have you on a pedestal? Because you're a normal person. This other comedian that we're on the road with, they're a normal person. And maybe I don't like them that much. Like, then you start to realize there's really no reason to put you on a pedestal. You're no different than I am.
I'm very different.
Do you know what I'm saying, though?
But the being on the road, being with the other comedians, being in that comedic headspace, that in a lot of ways is the best part.
And don't get me wrong.
It's the best part.
Some of them are awesome. I would love to go for Womlets again. Like, there's some comedians that are just really good people and funny, and then there's other comedians that you're like, why are you doing this? Because this maybe is not the right place for you. You know what I mean?
A lot of people fall into comedy because they don't fit anywhere else.
Yeah.
But the idea of I'm trying to figure out where I was starting with this. It was like, you met me the first year.
Everyone says how great it is to be married to a comedian.
Yeah, it isn't.
It isn't.
But at least it's honest. Like, as opposed to again, getting to the dumb guy who's just happy and enjoying his life and wants to drink beer in his garage and watch football. Like, what you get with me is a very real person, a very real set of thoughts. Like, don't smirk like that's a horrible thing.
No, it's fine.
It is a lot. It is a lot to be married to a comedian, but some people just are a glutton for punishment, and there's some part of you that says, I don't deserve better, and you settled. You settled for me, and there you go.
I would disagree with that, but it's definitely a lot. With that said, though, it's give and take, right? Like, I'm not the easiest person to live with either. But I think I'm definitely easier than you, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I think you have your own flavor. Everyone has their own flavor of crazy and what's wrong with them.
Yeah.
And that's, you find someone that you just can tolerate until one of you dies.
Well, and honestly, I mean, I would not want to go back in the dating world today. Like, I've heard stories. I'm like, I'm quite happy. I'm quite happy with our relationship and our family, and I would not want to step foot in that realm of dating anymore, because I just think it would just, I would slip my wrist. It's horrible.
What fascinates me about the dating world now is somehow when the internet was new, I know I'm old.
You're very old.
But when the internet was new and we were just starting with MSN Messenger and chats and onlines and dates, somehow genetically we sensed, hey, I better be anonymous.
Yeah.
I better not tell anyone my real name or tell them my information or where I live or where I work. So we all came up with Booty Daddy 24 at Hotmail, and it was you had to work quite a ways before you finally said to someone, hey, by the way, my real first name is Matthew.
Yeah.
And then right around Facebook, when social media came in, everyone went, here's all my data.
That's the thing.
Here's everything about me, and that box is like so now, if we were to break up and start dating tomorrow.
Right.
Everyone we know instantly knows we broke up.
Right.
Because you got to change your Facebook to single.
Right. Or it's complicated.
Or you go on a dating app and it's you. It's like there's no like here's where I am, here's where I live, here's how many feet away from me you currently are.
Well, and here's the other thing. It's not only that. It's every single thing you have said or done in your past comes up. Because
that's probably why I didn't get into politics.
There is a group on Facebook that is literally, what do you know about this person? And there's all these dating apps, right? I don't even know what they all are right now. But people are on these dating apps, and they will post a picture of a guy they've been talking to in this Facebook group, and they will say any red flags or tea on this person, And you immediately have like a dozen people. Oh my God, run as fast as you can. I used to date him 10 years ago and he was a complete jerk. Okay, well, that was 10 years ago. Like, how much of that are you taking to heart? Like, people change. But all these people, they're immediately taking whatever these other people say word for word. And they're like, oh my God, thank you so much. I will quit talking to him immediately. Like, I think that's unfair. And I wouldn't want to have to do all of that crap.
I think part of the fun is discuss. Like it used to be like when you finally burned enough bridges, what you did is you moved to another town.
You did that. You did. You totally did do that. Don't look at me like I called you out on your podcast. You did.
I love it here. I would totally don't want to move back to Calgary where my comedy career would flourish and I'd get a second chance on life.
Go for it.
Yeah?
Go for
We'll
it.
Pick the family up and move?
Oh no, we'll stay here. You go for it.
We did see that. We watched this Love is Blind thing, this Brazilian Love is Blind thing.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, we're married, yeah, but we don't live together yet, and it works, and maybe that's the next step.
You know, here's the funny thing.
Is the whole antiquated idea of married people should live together.
I have an aunt and an uncle in Regina. They did not live together. They were married. They had a business together. They didn't live together. Like, I can't explain it. It was an odd relationship.
Yeah, but again, odd for us today.
I suppose.
Like 40 years from now, like when our
that's the
are they going to be
same-
like, can you believe like when you were married you had to live with the person your whole cuz like we look back on marriage and be like, oh, the man owns the woman,
Right.
and we look back on it now and go, no, it's a partnership, and I mean all these other stupid ideas.
Right.
But maybe 50 years from now they'd be like, I can't believe that when you got married,
You lived together.
You literally like had to sleep in the same bed
It could be.
every day.
Who knows?
And then if one of you wanted to live in a different city, you'd break up. Like maybe this is just all evolving.
I don't know if it's evolving or devolving.
I don't know.
I don't know. It's definitely changing.
All I'm saying is I'm always right.
Ah,
And in general, it's difficult.
I see.
No, it's not. I love, the thing about comedy is, the thing about, here's the distinction. Entertaining is a desire to receive accolades, please an audience, get applause, get famous. You can do that. You can tap dance. You can be a news anchor, whatever. That's fame. That's visibility. Comedy is, I can't accept I see the world different than everybody else, or I have the ability to communicate. To make someone laugh is really hard. Okay, yeah, in a social setting, I'm the funniest guy in my group, and every time we go to a dinner party, I say the wittiest thing. Yeah, okay, fine. But to be professionally funny with an act, incredibly hard.
It is hard.
But then to marry those two things, the brokenness that comes with being a professional comedian and the requirement of external validation, that's the poison cocktail.
Right.
So I've got the external validation.
Yeah.
I've got, hey, I can go on stage, like, I'll start being a goof at home, and you'd be like, oh, you obviously need to get on a stage. You haven't told jokes in 2 weeks. You're getting to be a bit much. Go do an open mic or something and scratch that itch. Because you don't want to be my audience.
You don't want me to be your audience.
Well, because you don't think I'm funny. So it also is difficult.
Well, that's the funny thing. When we first met, I thought you were hilarious.
When we first met, I thought you were hilarious.
Where it went downhill was when you turned to me. We had been dating for a while, and you said to me, I want you to make notes about my act. I want you to give me your opinion. I want you to tell me how I'm doing, because when I'm on stage, I don't always hear the audience, and I don't know what bits are good and what bits aren't. And so at that point, I was like, okay, so now I wasn't just an audience member laughing. I was literally picking apart what you said and what you did, and I was doing what you asked me to do, But that caused me to be hypercritical about what you were doing on stage.
Touche. So, and you know what? That was a mistake, because that's what you do. That's what every relationship does early. When you're dating and when you're getting to know each other, you're like, oh, whatever you like is what I like. Oh, you like scary movies? I like scary movies too.
I didn't do that.
No, you don't. But most people do.
Most people do.
They feign interest in what the other person's into.
They're fake.
They're not.
No, they're fake.
They're infatuated. They're fake. Okay. So that way, you're not a comedian.
No.
So your opinion's not valid from a comedy.
Excuse me.
No, it's valid as an audience member.
Which is the audience. That's what matters the most.
But I don't need the notes. I hear the laugh or I don't hear the laugh.
Yeah, you don't like
the whole
when I give you notes and what I say is funny. That drives you nuts.
No, you're wrong. You're wrong.
I don't think so.
I'm being straight with you. There's no point this far down the road and this deep into the podcast to butter any of it.
All right.
You have very funny ideas. You've been
hilarious.
You've been exposed to enough professional comedy that you can craft a joke. You can, hey, that's a good premise. You should make a bit on that.
But
hey,
that's what's different about me.
I'm not done. You cut me off.
I don't craft anything.
No, you don't craft. But what I'm saying is, like, if I don't do woodworking, but if you were into woodworking, after 15 years of living with you, I'd at least be able to look over and say, hey, that's a nice piece of wood. Or, hey, you did a good job cutting that trowel. I don't know, whatever wood. What I'm saying is, I would pick up enough just through exposure to be able to speak the lingo. So you have funny ideas. You have good premises, and you have very valid feedback as an audience member.
I have written some hilarious jokes.
You really have. However, and it's my fault, the whole, hey, be part of my comedy journey. Let's do a comedy company together.
And that's why I've stepped back.
And should not have done any of that.
I don't come to your shows anymore.
Yeah, but now I've healed. I've healed over that.
You do worse when I'm at your shows. You've made that very clear.
Back then, I crushed last time you were at my show.
Okay, but I'm just saying, you're like, when you're at my show, I get in my head, I don't like it, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, okay, no problem. I won't go to your shows anymore.
But again, like, that's 10 years ago now.
I guess so.
And you just said, I don't want to, hey, like, if you put a picture of me and your thing is this guy funny? And someone went, oh, I went and saw him 10 years ago. He's not funny. Run the other way. You'd be like, no, I want to form my own opinion. So now I've come far enough along in my comedy journey to realize that comedians are just a different breed, and only comedians get comedians. Much like but I mean, that's common. Like two guys that also sell Tupperware. Well, like, they can talk. You can just talk shop.
Right.
Right. So I can talk comedy, like the theory of comedy, with comedians. But that, because you're not up there living it, experiencing it, doing it, right? I should not be asking for, hey, pick my set apart. Because, like, if a doctor came to me and said, hey, watch me do surgery for the next 10 years and give me notes, and I would tell him, well, yeah, that cutting part, you seem there'd be a lot of extra bleeding there, and I don't know, okay, well, the reason I cut that is because this happened, or the reason I asked for more, I don't know, I'm not a doctor.
I see.
But if I observe enough surgery, it's like you watch enough of a legal show, you think, oh, I would know what an objection is in court, and I know that that's leading a witness. I could be a lawyer because you've seen a lot of it.
Right.
So I should have never brought you down that road.
Okay.
And that's my fault.
Right.
Right? So the idea behind the podcast, again, is stripping away all of these pretenses and just being straight.
Yeah. So chickens, eh?
We gone way too long on this. I'm sure this will come back to bite me horrifically.
Who cares? It doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
Nope.
We're done.
All right.
Bye.
Bye, guys.